mediocrity, it ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity, it ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity, it ain't no friend to me.
Yep, we're waging war on mediocrity. It ain't no friend of me. It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, coming again to bring you another edition of these high intensity trainings, these hits. And this one will be no different. Wanted to come on this quick Friday back in the lab at home. I'm the only person here without running around downstairs in the lab. So I wanted to be able to pop on for one brief moment. And I want to talk to you about struggle. Oh my God. Let's talk about life, man. Life is a set of struggles. You're either coming in, going out, or in the midst of something in your life right now. But what I'm starting to learn that in the midst of these struggles, in the midst of what's going on in life, that we have to remain persistent. Hey, Auntie, we have to remain persistent in the things that mean the most. We have to keep our mind stayed on God, our mind stayed on our standards, the thing we want to accomplish, what we want out this earth. Because this is what I do know. Life is going to give you twists and turns. Whatever controls your mind controls your body. The more we allow negativity, worry, doubt, discouragement, unbelief to fester in our mind, the more it will be manifested in our body and in our external. What you see externally is just a manifestation of what's going on internally. Hey, if you're out there starting to see the eyes add up, shout your boy out. And I had to go in and fix some things on YouTube. If you're on, not on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, say hello. I want to make sure that I'm getting Facebook messages. There you go. Thank you, Mom. I think I'm getting Facebook messages back now. So that's phenomenal. I had to go in and tweak some things, but I think I'm getting them. Oh, no, Mom's on YouTube too. Never mind. If you're out there on Facebook, man, holler at me. Let me know that you're hearing this message. Keith, thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Keith just said priorities don't change because times get difficult or hard. They do not change. We have to remember to keep the main things. But what I do know about life is that if we're not deliberate and we're not conscious and intentional about what's being what highlight reel or we've been allowed to be played in our minds, it will soon determine what our life look like. We are the result of the story that we tell ourselves. I have what I believe I can have. I always say this: God is not a respecter of your feelings. He's a respecter of your faith. The moment you start believing and you start converting those thoughts into ideas through which God can work in and through you. Like I've been in situations to where I honestly didn't know how I was going to get out. I didn't know how I was going to get the next meal. I didn't know how I was going to get the gas to get home. I've been in those situations. And in those situations, it's so easy to become negative and to be overwhelmed and to have anxiety. It's so easy in those moments. We're talking about human behavior, human nature. It's so easy to allow those emotions to overwhelm us in those times and in those moments. And I ain't gonna lie. Some days you pray and cry. Other days you cry and pray. But I'm telling you, we have to rehearse what we want to see and not what the reality is. It's almost like I don't go back to the future. I live in the future. Oh my God, that's a bread-breaking moment. I'm not going back to the future. I live in the future. I love the fact when the great I am, when God says I'm the one that was, is, and is to come. I love when he's talking about his church and his saints. He's always talking future tense. I'm going to present you to me without spot or wrinkle. It's better that I go away so I can send you a comforter. He's not talking about all the things that went down through the past so loom and gloom can be in our future. He's telling you about how good your future can be. But if you're only discouraged and despaired about what you see today, you will lose your tomorrow. Your tomorrow is directly tied to your today. I just broke bread. Your tomorrow is directly linked to the thoughts that you had today. If you want to change your tomorrow, change the thoughts that you're harboring in your mind today. Well, Anthony, it's so tough, man. Trust me. I just came out of a traumatic experience. We just went through a traumatic experience. I understand that, man, sometimes life has a way of crippling you and will stop you in your tracks. I know that. And I don't want to sound insensitive, and I don't want to sound like the things that you have to tackle in your daily life does not matter, but priorities don't change cause your times get difficult or hard. Thank you, Keith. Priorities do not change. If you've been called to be the motivational teacher to the masses, you've been called to do it when you're on the mountain. You've been called to do it when you're deep down in the valley. You've been called to do it when you're happy. You've been called to do it when you were sad. God's response or God's calling on my life does not change based on my emotions. I just broke bread. It does not change because in my mind, I feel like I don't want to keep going today. I feel like I want to take a day off. My calling, hey, Pat, thanks for joining us. My calling has not changed. Do I control my emotions or do my emotions control me? There's a crossroad, and you better believe everything that you want in your life is tied to how you manage these crossroads. There are always going to be difficult decisions that must be made in the presence of fear, doubt, unbelief, anxiety, but we have to stand firm in what I believe and where I'm going and make tough decisions. Oh my God, make tough calls based on faith. Without faith, it's impossible to please him. And I said, man, like I said, I gotta break bread. I'm the bread breaker. That's what I do. And I want to leave you with strategies and tactics to help get you from where you are today to where you want to be tomorrow. But before strategy and tactics work, your level of belief has to be there in what the great I am has awakened your I am to do in order for you to even want to work the strategies and tactics through fear, through unbelief. It's going to all, man, success and failure rise in the same car. Success and failure rise right beside each other, and you sit in the middle. And it's what voice we allow to dominate our thoughts. Is the behaviors we exhibit. Boy, I just broke some major bread right there. Which voice will you allow to be the loudest in your life? Is it fear? Is it unbelief? I'll be honest. I'll be honest. You got to do it in the presence of fear, man. Crossroads are managed based on your faith. Come on, Keith. Hungry for this knowledge. Thank you, Pat. You got to do it in the presence of fear. I think there are too many of us waiting on everything to be perfect in our life before I manifest what I know God has given me from the foundation of the earth. I got to start somewhere. And I got to promise you along that way, there are going to be multiple signs that say it wrong way. It's going to be multiple signs that say, hey, I don't have the resources. There are going to be multiple signs that say I can't get to the top of the mountain. There are going to be multiple signs that say this is not my lot in life. But I love the fact that he said narrow is the way. Not every man will find it. Not every woman will find it. But I know the eyes looking at me tonight. We got to persevere. We got to persevere. Like quitting is not an option. Walking away from, oh my God, I'm going to say this, and I mean it, just walking away from God, the good that he's given us is not an option, man, because it's hard. It's not. That's why he said, don't lean to your understanding. Lean not to your own understanding. Always acknowledge me, and I will direct your path. We've been leaning to our own understanding, our own knowledge for so long. We don't know how to move our butts out the way. Lean not to your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge me, and I will direct your path. And in these moments where there's paralyzation based on fear, doubt, unbelief, we got to lean not to, when it say lean not to your own understandings, let me break that down in Williams translation. We can't lean not to our old understandings. We can't lean not to our old ways, our old thoughts, our old behaviors, our old emotions. Lean not to that old thought. Lean not to what you did in the past. Lean not to what you went through 2 years ago. Lean not to your divorce. Lean not to those emotions that you got after the divorce. Lean not after you got fired, after you got laid off. Don't lean on the understandings from those past behaviors or past situations. I want you to get to a place where you're not leaning on that, but in all your ways, you're acknowledging me and I am directing your path. God, I know if you brought me to it, you're going to bring me through it. I know that sounds like an old cliche, but I'm telling you, that good old stuff still works. If you brought me to it, I know you're going to bring me through it. I don't care what it looks like. I know who I am and I know what's on the inside of me. And the key to manifesting that level of grit in the midst of a battle, in the midst of a fight, the key to manifesting that level of grit, hey, Vaniqua, thank you for joining us. The key to manifesting that level of grit is I have to say that every day, 10 times a day, no matter what my day looks like, no matter how I feel, I got to communicate, man, I'm the healed of God, maintaining my health. I can have sniffles. I could have just been diagnosed with cancer. I could have just had a high A1C reading. I could have just had a high blood pressure reading. It does not change my confession. I'm not leaning to my understanding. In all my ways, I am acknowledging who he is in the situation, and he will direct my path. I can't direct my path. I mean, honestly, I can't tell you what I ate for breakfast this morning. How am I going to be the one how am I going to be the one that's in charge of my own life? I honestly can't tell you what I made 65,000 decisions today. That's what they said. What's up, Kennard, bro? They said I made 65, that most people make north of 60,000 decisions in a day. Most of them are unconscious decisions. So my point is, I'm not even qualified for me to direct my life because I'm not that engaged in my own life to realize that 65,000 decisions I made. I'm not even qualified to direct my own life. I can't tell you, I booked a vacation and we're going on vacation, but I booked it a year ago. And a year ago, the reason why I booked it because there was some commercial I saw is why I booked the vacation. And now we're going. I can't even remember what prompted me to book the vacation a year ago. I'm not qualified to direct my own life. I'm breaking bread right now. I'm breaking bread right now. I'm not qualified to direct my own life. Now, I am qualified to give my life standards without a vision that people perish. I am qualified to give my life a vision. However, I am not qualified to direct it. I love that we must seek God for his vision and not sight. Sight is limited, but vision is based on the capacity to allow your imagination to open all possibilities. You just broke bread, bro, Key. The nuke just broke bread on here. You broke bread right there. I said another one of your brothers out there. You broke bread right there. Vision is based on your capacity to allow your imagination to open all possibilities. But if I'm only leaning to my own understanding, you'll never have the capacity. And I love the fact, Keith, that you use that word capacity, because God only feels what we have the capacity for. He doesn't give us more than what we had the capacity for. And I love, he told her to go get every jar, every tank you can find, and I'm going to fill it. If she had went and got 5 jars, guess how many he would have filled? Only 5, but she had the capacity to start a business with the same thing. She had the same opportunity to start a business. She increased her capacity. She was able to start a business, but at the same time, she had the same capacity to only go get one and feed her son and die. But she leaned not to her own understanding and allowed him to direct her path. Man, that's some bread breaking right there. That is some bread breaking right there. And I want to really, really challenge us. I really want to challenge us to level up our thinking, level up I'm going to use this word. The kingdom of God suffered violence, and the violent now take us by force. I'm going to use this word. It's time for us to be more aggressive. Yeah, it's time for us to start being aggressive about the things that we're going through and leveling up our conversation within ourselves, leveling up our conversation in my own mind. I promise you, most people start telling other people about their dreams and their vision before they've even talked to themselves about their dream and their vision. Before me and the vision became one, me and the great I am, the great I am and my awakened I am became one. I'm sharing a vision with other people that I'm not even one with. And we wonder why So when the first time somebody say it can't be done, we quit the vision. Why? Because we've never become one with it. Change that inner dialogue that you're having with yourself. I'm telling you, lean not to your own understanding. Now, you're not good enough. You're not tall enough. You're not handsome enough. You're not cute enough. You're a single parent. You don't know how to be a dad. You don't know how to be. All that inner self-talk is killing your dreams. It's killing your destiny. It's killing your vision. All that negative self-talk, you're sabotaging your own self. Like Pat said, when you have no limits with God, move your butt out of your way. And I'm telling you, the moment we get to the place where we see opportunity and struggle, we started this conversation talking about how life sometimes can throw you a curveball that you didn't expect. It's like, how can I find the good? And when everything says negative in my life, how can I find the good in it? And I said it's based on the story that you tell yourself. God does not waste any teachable moment in any experience. Every experience that you go through, whether positive or negative, is a teachable moment to get you closer to your destiny. I don't care if you had something to go very well, there's a teachable moment in it. I don't care if you had something to go very bad, there's a teachable moment in it. I don't care if you had something that went neutral, there's a teachable moment in it. Be engaged in the moments in your life. God is always communicating to you. Oh my God, I'm breaking bread. And let me know I'm still alive.